Photo by Mitchell Leff. Getty Images. The 2019 NBA All-Star break has come and gone, and it's time for teams to make one last run for playoff positioning. With over half of the season complete, there have been several NBA duos who have taken their team to the top of the rankings. There are 5 duos in particular who have made a case for being in a tier of their own. When it comes to ranking current NBA duos, there are several things that are key. First, how the teams have performed with their respective duo leading the team. It is important to consider not only the overall team record thus far, but also their record when both members of the duo are healthy. On top of that, to be considered a top duo, you have to be healthy for the majority of the season. How good is a duo if they're never on the floor? Lastly, you also must consider the kind of stats the duo is producing. Not only does this include your typical points, rebounds and assists, but also advanced stats. This is everything from individual offensive and defensive rating, individual win shares, value over replacement player, player efficiency rating, and individual box plus, minus. Everything being considered, who makes the cut for the top 5 current NBA duos? And who just misses it? Keep in mind, these rankings are based on this season alone. Page 2. Photo by John McDonald. The Washington Post via Getty ImagesThe. Nikola Jokic and Gary Harris, Denver Nuggets. It is too early for these two to be a true top duo. Harris hasn't been healthy enough this season. On top of that, Jamal Murray is slowly making a case for himself to be one of the top 2 players on the Nuggets. The Nuggets have won a ton of games, but it seems like their roster varies every night with all of their injury issues. Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin, Detroit Pistons. These two statistically are a great duo, but they just don't check the box when it comes to wins. Although they have the Pistons in the playoff picture, they are still well below a winning record. Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, Minnesota Timberwolves. Here is a once intriguing young duo that hasn't made that next step yet. In the coming years, they could find themselves as a top 5 NBA duo if Wiggins ever does so. For now though, he hasn't, and they can't get their team into the playoff picture. John Wall and Bradley Beal, Washington Wizards. If only John Wall could stay healthy. Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, Dallas Mavericks. These two young, future stars obviously haven't had a chance to play together yet. They are disqualified from being a top NBA duo for that reason, but must be mentioned. They will be fun for years to come if Porzingis decides to stay in Dallas long-term. LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio Spurs. As a veteran duo, they are doing everything they can to keep the San Antonio Spurs relevant. That being said, it is their first season together and haven't been elite enough to get into the top 5 conversation. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz. These two are close to being a top 5 duo, and barring injury, should be in the coming years. Although finding their way into the playoff race of late, Utah struggled the majority of the year to win games. Though this means next to nothing, neither of these two made the NBA All-Star team. Can you be considered a top 5 duo if you don't have at least one All-Star? Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics. These two check almost every box. Boston is winning games and both of these guys are putting up great stats. But can anyone for sure say that Tatum is Boston's second best player? Between Al Horford, Gordon Hayward and other Boston stars, they are too well-rounded to consider these two as the clear-cut top duo. Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, Toronto Raptors. Although they both made the All-Star team, Kyle Lowry has been relatively inconsistent, to the point where the Raptors were willing to potentially deal him at the trade deadline. The main reason this duo just missed the cut, however, is due to the amount of missed games for Kawhi. Understandably, Toronto has eased him into playing back-to-back games this season, but with how many games he has missed, they just miss the cut. They both have missed double-digit games this season. James Harden and Clint Capella, Chris Paul, Houston Rockets. This one was tough. Harden next to a healthy Capella or CP3 is most certainly a top 5 current NBA duo. With that being said, we don't see it very often. Chris Paul has only appeared in 59.6% of Houston's games, while Capella has only played in 73.6%. Harden has had to be a one-man team at many points during this season, proving that he hasn't had a true duo consistently enough. Page 3 photo by Juan Ocampo, NBA via Getty ImagesThe. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton both found themselves in the NBA All-Star Game this season. At first glance, most people would say Middleton is having a disappointing season relative to last year. In reality, he is doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Giannis is playing at an elite MVP level this season. The only weakness to his game is his shooting. Middleton has improved his three-point percentage from last season from 35.9% to 37.8%. Although Giannis is the clear alpha in this duo, Middleton does exactly what Giannis needs him to in order for both of them to be as efficient as possible. Middleton spaces the floor, which allows Giannis to get to the paint, where he thrives. In turn, defenses have to collapse, leaving Middleton open for three-pointers. Antetokounmpo and Middleton are both in the top 20 in the league when it comes to defensive win shares, at 1st and 17th respectively. This has allowed Milwaukee to rank 1st in the league in defensive rating, boasting a 97.8 rating. Giannis is also 7th in points per game, 6th in rebounds per game and 17th in assists per game. Page 4 Use your arrows to browse photo by Sam Forensic, NBA via Getty Images. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum once again have the Portland Trail Blazers as a top 4 team in the packed Western Conference. They both have stayed healthy and played in 56 of Portland's 57 games. McCollum has still never made an All-Star team, but still has proven to be one of the top shooting guards in the league. This dynamic offensive duo also has scored 41.7% of the Blazers' points this season on average, combining for 47.3 points per game. Only one other player on the entire team, Yusuf Nurkic, averages double figures in the scoring column. Lillard and McCollum have been an elite backcourt duo for several years now, and this season is no different. The Blazers have always had a loaded backcourt with these two, and even with a weak frontcourt, always find themselves in the playoffs. Lillard is 9th in the NBA in points per game and 14th in assists per game this season. He also has a top 20 per of 23.9. USC arrows to browse.